In a faraway land, nestled between soft, rolling hills and a sky that shimmered with 1,000 twinkling stars, there was a little town called Sleepy Willow. And in this town lived a little bear named Barnaby. Barnaby was a fluffy, honey-colored bear with button eyes and a very curious nose. He loved adventures more than anything. He loved climbing tall oak trees, chasing butterflies in sunny meadows, and splashing in the cool, clear stream that giggled its way through the forest. But tonight, Barnaby was having a little trouble. The moon, a big, bright silver coin, was hanging high in the sky, and all the other little animals in Sleepy Willow were already tucked into their cozy beds. The crickets were chirping their gentle goodnight song, and the wind was whispering soft lullabies through the leaves. But Barnaby's eyes were wide open. He tossed and he turned in his little wooden bed, his patchwork quilt feeling all bunched up. He counted fluffy sheep jumping over a fence. 1 fluffy sheep, 2 fluffy sheep, 3, but his mind just kept buzzing with thoughts of the day's adventures. He thought about the shiny red apple he found, the funny frog he met by the pond, and the rainbow that appeared after a short afternoon shower. It was all too exciting to forget. "I just can't sleep," Barnaby whispered to his little stuffed rabbit, Floppy, who lay beside him on the pillow. Floppy, of course, said nothing, but his long, soft ears seemed to listen. Barnaby sighed and slid out of bed. His little bare paws made no sound on the wooden floor. He tiptoed over to the window and peered outside. The world was bathed in a soft, silvery light. The flowers in his mother's garden had all closed their petals, fast asleep. The old oak tree in the yard stood like a wise, silent guardian. Suddenly, a tiny, shimmering light caught his eye. It flickered near the garden gate. It was a firefly, and then another, and another. Soon, a whole family of fireflies was dancing in the air, their little lights blinking on and off like tiny, floating stars. Barnaby had an idea. A quiet, gentle, sleepy time adventure. He carefully opened his door and crept downstairs. His parents were fast asleep, their gentle snores like the soft rumble of distant thunder. He slipped on his little blue boots, grabbed his smallest lantern, and quietly unlatched the front door. The night air was cool and sweet, smelling of night, blooming jasmine and damp earth. Barnaby followed the dancing fireflies as they led him away from his house, down a familiar path into the whispering woods. The woods weren't scary at all at night. The moonlight filtered through the canopy of leaves, painting beautiful, shifting patterns on the forest floor. The fireflies swirled around him, their lights guiding his way. He walked past the berry bushes where he and his friends had picked juicy blueberries that afternoon. He saw the hollow log where Mrs. Rabbit and her bunnies lived, a tiny wisp of smoke curling from their chimney. Everyone was asleep. The whole world was resting. The fireflies led him to a small clearing he'd never seen before. In the center of the clearing was a pond, so still and clear that it looked like a piece of the night sky had fallen to the ground. The moon and all the stars were reflected perfectly on its surface. It was like there were 2 skies, one above and one below. Barnaby sat down at the water's edge, his little lantern casting a warm, golden glow beside him. The fireflies settled on the reeds and cattails around the pond, their lights blinking in a slow, steady rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2. It was like a slow, peaceful heartbeat. As he watched, A beautiful swan with feathers as white as fresh snow glided silently across the pond. She moved without a ripple, her long neck curved gracefully. She wasn't going anywhere in a hurry. She was just enjoying the quiet of the night. Then, a family of ducks, all nestled together on a floating log, drifted by, fast asleep and dreaming of breadcrumbs. Barnaby noticed how everything was moving so slowly and peacefully. The wind was no longer whispering. It was humming a low, soothing tune. The fireflies blinked in time with the humming. The swan glided in time with the blinking. It was all a beautiful, sleepy dance. He looked up at the big, friendly moon. It seemed to be smiling down at him. Barnaby imagined the moon was a giant, gentle shepherd, watching over all the sleeping creatures of the world. He felt a big yawn stretch his mouth wide. His eyelids started to feel very heavy, like they had tiny little weights on them. He thought about his own cozy bed. He thought about his soft pillow and his warm patchwork quilt. The excitement of the day didn't seem so buzzy anymore. It had softened into a happy, warm memory, perfect for dreaming about. The fireflies began to float back towards the path, as if telling him it was time to go home. Barnaby picked up his lantern and, with another big yawn, he followed them. His little blue boots felt heavier now, and his steps were slow and sleepy. He walked back through the whispering woods, past the sleeping bunnies in their hollow log and the berry bushes dreaming of sunshine. The moonlight guided him home, and the fireflies danced ahead, lighting his way. When he reached his front door, he quietly let himself in and crept back up the stairs. His room looked so inviting. The moonlight streamed through his window, making a silver puddle on the floor. Barnaby slipped off his boots and climbed back into bed. The sheets felt cool and smooth. His patchwork quilt felt like a warm hug. He pulled it up to his chin and snuggled down. He gave Floppy the rabbit a little pat. He closed his eyes, and this time, they stayed closed. He could still hear the gentle humming of the wind outside. He could still see the slow, blinking lights of the fireflies in his mind. He pictured the beautiful white swan gliding on the dark, starry pond. Barnaby took a slow, deep breath in and let it out with a soft sigh. He was no longer a wide-awake adventurer. He was a cozy, sleepy little bear, ready for dreams. The world outside was quiet, and the world inside his little room was peaceful. He drifted away on a soft, fluffy cloud of sleep, floating gently over the whispering woods, past the starry pond, and all the way up to the smiling, silvery moon. And there, in the land of dreams, he had the most wonderful, peaceful adventures until the morning sun came to wake him. Good night, little Barnaby. Sleep tight.